lane 2, Drexel in lane 3, Santa Clara in lane 4, LaSalle's in lane 5, and Temple is in lane 6. They are competing for the Bob and Maisie Suter Memorial Cup. Drexel had the fastest time in the time trial at 5:44, followed closely, just about 3 seconds from Drexel to Santa Clara. In the semifinals, Drexel won by a margin of 5 seconds as they are underway here over LaSalle, who finished second, and St. Joe's, who finished third. And then in the second semifinal, Santa Clara finished out about 4 seconds in front of Marist and 10 seconds in front of Temple. So we'll see how things progress here. It does look early on as though Drexel and Santa Clara are beginning to separate themselves. LaSalle hanging on there in third at the moment. And they go by our outside lane follow launch here. Nice shot inside that Temple 8.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see how this race starts to shape up. So keep in mind, this is a third Varsity 8. So all of these crews have very, very deep programs. That means they have very strong Varsity 8s, second Varsity 8s, and now we're seeing the third Varsity 8s here. So again, huge props to these coaches again for building up all of these programs from top to bottom, because look at, these are third varsity crews. Really impressive here to see them throwing down such deep programs and rowing like top V8s, and they get to go head to head out on the water every day with their top V8s as well, and that really helps make the program a lot deeper all the way through from top to bottom. So here we are looking at Drexel, of course, walking away with it. Santa Clara and LaSalle going head to head in 4 and 5. Santa Clara had a great weekend 2 weeks ago at Weira, and has brought many of their crews over here to the Dad Vail for the first time in a long time to try to secure some of those IRA spots. And they've had a lot of success there. But Drexel right now just being challenged by LaSalle in lane 5 right now. We're starting to see a little bit of separation here. We're gonna keep an eye on this. But what a race we're seeing shaping up for second. So right now it is Drexel, again, like I said, being challenged by LaSalle just a little bit in lane 5. But we're gonna look at Marist and Santa Clara in lanes 2 and 4 going head to head at this time. And then St. Joe's and Temple just on the outside starting to trail just a little bit.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about, the depth of some of these programs. So Drexel not only boating a first and second varsity 4, or first and second varsity 4, but a first, second, and third varsity 8. So a really deep program. And again, Drexel already winning the second varsity 4, and the third varsity 8, generally a priority boat over the 4 boats for a program like Drexel. So, a really impressive start to the championship races so far for Drexel. 1,000 meters down, 1,000 meters left to go for the lead boat from Drexel. Looks like second to the halfway line is LaSalle by a seat, maybe over Santa Clara. And Santa Clara, with a little bit of speed into this third 500, seems to be drawing just about even with LaSalle as I speak.
Yeah, that's right. And Santa Clara, I'm expecting, again, to be pretty strong in the second half. They're a very fit program. They do very well, again, from top to bottom. And they showed us 2 weeks ago that they're incredibly strong in the second half. So I'm definitely going to expect some moves and some great fitness here from Santa Clara. But they really are being challenged by LaSalle here, but still moving. So we are almost bow ball to bow ball now, Santa Clara and LaSalle. What an exciting race here, almost going stroke for stroke here, not one outstroking the other, but literally who is at the catch and who is at the finish, bow ball surging forward and back. So Drexel walking away with it right now, but it is Santa Clara and LaSalle going head to head. So we're gonna keep a very, very close eye on this one as this starts to develop, because one of these crews is going to have to throw something at the other.
Yeah, it does look like Santa Clara is now just starting to inch out in front. You can see their bow ball just hitting those bow marker lines just slightly ahead of the LaSalle boat. It does look like a 1-seat advantage for Santa Clara now. Even if you look back at their sterns, LaSalle's stern starting to peek off of your picture. Santa Clara's was remaining on, so just about a 1-seat lead. 500 meters left to go for LaSalle, 500 meters left to go for Santa Clara and LaSalle. Drexel opening up water now with a boat length of open water on second and third place. What a race we got going on here for the silver medal, though. Santa Clara at the moment. We'll see who kicks it into high gear first. It looks like Santa Clara is the first one to kick it up a bit.
Yeah, you know what? This coxswain's going to have to make a really gutsy move, too, because when it comes down to something like this, it really could be who is at the catch and who is at the finish. So at some point, a coxswain has to say, you know what, we either have to sprint early or we've got to make a decision, but something's got to give here. So I'm going to be very curious to see what this coxswain decides to do, in the Santa Clara boat especially, because they do have the edge right now, rowing at about a 38-39. They're really starting to bring the rate up here, but LaSalle is really starting to challenge. We'll see. Look at these coxswains looking over at each other, just saying who it's going to be, because this really could come down to a photo finish here between Santa Clara and LaSalle.
I think Santa Clara is starting to pull away just a little bit here based on this camera angle. Hitting those buoy lines just slightly earlier than LaSalle boat. You can see now pretty clearly Santa Clara with an advantage as we follow along with our lead Drexel boat here. Again, the men's third Varsity 8, the grand final of the Bob and Maisie Suter Memorial Cup. Look at the Dragons as they cross the line in first. Great race from Drexel. Second place belongs to Santa Clara. Temple, 4 seats back for the bronze.
Yeah, we'll look back to the remaining boats in our field here. We have St. Joe's, who is in there.
A crab from Marist at the end. Oh, and an ejector crab.
An ejector crab.
And they are upset about that in the boat. No, it looks like they don't seem...
Right before the finish line. Well, we hope everybody's okay. We will keep an eye on that as that develops, but unfortunate for Marist.
So St. Joe's cross in fourth, just out in front of the Marist boat. Temple finishes in sixth. But again, Drexel, your winner at 5:58. Santa Clara at 6:03. LaSalle, 6:05. There's the time for St. Joe's. I wonder if our camera could potentially get a shot of the ejected rower to make sure that he's all right. Obviously, we haven't seen the officials cross through yet. So, you know, the assumption is the rower's all right.